Welcome to the second edition of this month's On the Ball show. Where Shakil, so firstly, obviously we've touched on it, but congratulations on the result today. If we can have this graphic on the screen, that'd be brilliant. There we go. Just run us through the league table in terms of obviously what at the beginning of the day, what were the scenarios?
All right. So going into the final day, Brick Lane were top, but it was only 2 points. So what happened last week? Brick Lane came up against Stepney, and that was a thriller of a match that ended 2-2. So because of that, because Brick Lane couldn't wrap up the title last week, it all came down to this week, and I think Elite they won 4-1 last week against Bernardo. So yeah, they were right in it this week. If they won today, if Elite won the match against Brick Lane, then they would have been the champions, and Brick Lane just needed a draw to win the title.
Okay, and as you can see from the league table, there, it's pretty tight. Ultimately, Brick Lane, who I guess you guys were leading the way from the very start, right? So do that is credit to you guys. Okay, and I'm just firstly, obviously you've come in. It's been a brilliant another year for CFL. What's your take on today and the season?
I'm over the moon, mate, because it's been an amazing season for us. All we wanted this season, to be competitive, and I think for the last 4 or 5 years it has been, and this year has to be the best season we've had so far at CFL. It was exciting. It was the crowd over there today. Like Shakil said, and Mostak said earlier on, the banter all week from both teams. Well, not particularly Brick Lane, but from Elite and other teams. That's what we want. It's all about social media now these days, isn't it? So I think all the exposure we got as a league, from my point, from the Sporting Foundation, the committee from CFL, amazing. We can't ask for anything better. All I can say is looking forward to next season now, because I'm sure teams out there, and I don't care, there's so many leagues out there, Hackney Wick League and other leagues in East London. I think this league now has to be one of the best leagues, and we're proud of it. We're proud of our community. We're proud of our league, and you can see that today in the conditions we had today. It's amazing. Where are we going to get this on a Sunday, last game of the season, 2 teams fighting for the championship? Name me one league. I don't think you can.
No, I think
so. That's amazing.
Good stuff. Okay, Shaq, I'm going to hand over to you in terms of we've not really touched on the other. I know seemed like a bit of a there was only one game going on, but there were other results, and there are other clubs that played. The Stepneys, PYO, Bernardo, and obviously the clubs that are playing in the first division as well. But you're obviously in the know. You know what's been going on in the stats and whatnot. Give us a bit of an overview quickly in terms of a snapshot of how the season's gone for the particular clubs.
From the Summer League, there were 2 teams that got promoted from the Championship to the Premiership. They were PYO and Stepney. They're 2 young teams. Now, this is not the old Stepney with the vets. This is a new look Stepney managed by Ripon, and PYO is managed by Kamal. So 2 youngsters, relatively young managers with a very young team. But these are very two hungry teams, and they got promoted to the Premiership in the Summer League. And they were emerging teams, and there were 2 teams that everyone was going to look at this year, and they finished 3rd and 4th in the league, and that's a great credit to both both teams, the 2 managers and the young squad they have. Stepney actually, they finished 3rd, and they actually took a point off us, a couple of points off us last week. To be fair, they probably should have won the game.
Yeah.
They were amazing last week, and in fact, the first game that we played against them, we won that game 3-2 in the last minute. There was a lot of games where we won the game in the last minute. Against Shadwell, we came back from 4-1 down, we won 5-4. Against Stepney, we came back 1-3-2 last minute. And today we got the last minute goal. So there was big results. We had to. It went to the last minute. It wasn't like we were thumping teams. We barely thumped a team. It was narrow wins for us. And Stepney were one of those teams. They took us to the wire in the first game and the second game, and they nearly cost us the title. Ripon was apologising, saying, "Oh, sorry," But I said, "Look, football's football. You got to play your best team. Yeah, there's no team that's going to throw a game at all ever. Yeah."
But Shakil, sorry to interrupt. That's what true champions do, though, isn't it? They fight to the last whistle. Yeah. You have to. If you want to win the league, you can't say, "You know what? We've gone 2 goals up. We'll just relax." You can't do that. Yeah. That's exactly what happened today, I'm afraid. You guys started off better than Elite and ended better than Elite's performance. That's what I personally think, because I have to shout out the goalkeeper as well. I think he had a very good game, but the last 10 minutes, he was a bit shaky. He was doing a few mistakes. but he pulled off another set piece save. He just punched it out away. And I think defender Alpha, I think he had a blinder today. You know, big shout out to them two players today.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the other team, PYO, another team, Sujaya, they finished top scorer as well. They've had a great season, and they've got our Sadiq as well, where he played for us a couple of years ago, won the league with us, and he wanted to help out, come out with the old Mohammedan connection. And then we had Shadwell last year's champion.
Yeah, so
they finished fifth this year.
Yeah. So let's talk about them. What's your take on that?
I spoke to Sadiq earlier on today actually, and we both talked about how it's the teams that win the league are the most consistent teams.
Yeah.
You know, you might not necessarily be the best. Like if you put technically, you put the best teams out.
16 points off.
Yes, I mean,
that's a big difference.
Considering who Shadwell are, where they were last year, they won everything last year: UK Championship, Summer League Cup, the Winter League Cup, and League. So they won it all. So sadly, the only thing he hasn't won is a Premiership, Summer League Premiership now. So Shadwell, they were there. They were a strong team. Bernardo, Enamba's team, the youngsters, I love watching them play. Tanvir, your son Raul, Adil, excellent. Love watching that young team. And they had Bradley today as well. They actually drew 3-3 with Shadwell the last minute. I think Bradley scored a last minute goal. And speaking of today's results, PYO and Stepney, the two teams I was talking about earlier, they played against each other today, and it's 1-1. So all of these games are close. It's not like any team is getting thumped, regularly. It's not like that. I think PYO got in the last minute as well to equalise against Stepney.
So what about First Division? Who's the standout teams? I think you come in and you chip in, and I'm joining in terms of standout teams in the First Division.
I think you have to give it to this guy. I mean, I called him last week, and they, gave him all the big shouts because I think he deserves it. Because I don't think you realise he doesn't drive. He's coming with a kit bag from Hackney, every week.
I didn't know that.
Hackney every week. Is there an hour before his game, and I think that takes great effort and commitment because of dedication.
To not
drive and be there first. We had a few problems with the trains today as well, didn't it? So he never complains about trains and buses. He'll walk it if he has to. But that's the thing. That's the commitment we want, and I think the time and effort managers do put in.
I think that's the pattern.
That's it.
I mean, everybody loves their football, but when you're involved in grassroots level football, it's a different prospect. People don't understand the hard work, the grit, the commitment you need to manage a team. And Brother Dilwara here, credit to you for doing what you're doing, and to all those managers out there as well.
Yeah, fair point. What about the other teams? Any teams for you that really deserve a mention, who's really stood out in the First Division, that maybe next season?
I like Valence, the young, at the beginning of the
let's talk about Valence. So in the end, they finished on 6 points. So Shaxon, feel free to jump in, guys.
I think they're a young team. Very young team.
Very, very young team. They always take the early kick-off 11 o'clock. They're there early, and they're still around. Even at the beginning of the season, they were losing quite heavily because at that point, remember, this season started off with all the teams in one division, and then we had the split. And they were getting thumped by some of the big teams. We beat them 10-0, for example, and a lot of other teams beat them 8-0, 9-0, 11-0. It was pretty bad, but there's still credit to them. They're out there every week, and during the end of the season, they've actually picked up a couple of results as well, and they're getting closer, and they're not getting thumped anymore. Today they lost narrowly 3-2 to Seoul, I think. But another team you've got to mention, East City. They're another team. They're an emerging team as well. But
finished second.
They're another team that picked up took points off us as well. We didn't lose many points this season we lost against East, dropped points against East City, Stepney, and Elite. East City, they took us to the wire. It was 3-0 against them. So they're another team, brilliant team. I think they're one to watch out for next year. I think they'll take the first.
That's one team all season, when teams have problems with players, 10 players come up, 9 players show up. East City, every week, they've got more than 13, 14 players. Every week.
You say that, to be fair, only the times when I've gone to, I've not really seen teams struggling this year for numbers.
No, there have been a few. There have been a few. On occasion. That's for a winter league.
Yeah.
If you go to any winter league, you will see. Unless they're going to win the league, the top 2.
Yeah.
The rest of the teams are usually struggling.
But you say that, I think PYO and Stepney has changed that for all other teams. When they see the squad of Stepney and PYO turn up every week, you can't turn up with 9 players.
Yeah,
It's embarrassing.
That's a great point, yeah.
For established teams. So I think that's credit to them as well, because you know, the young bunch of lads, they're there, rain or shine, they want to play, they want to participate. I think it's great.
It's like a great social atmosphere.
Yeah, it is,
and I think those players think, well, you know, they want to get out. They want to, I might as well get to meet other people, good banter, get a game of football. Why not? So I think the mentality has changed a bit. Don't get me wrong. We still have a few teams who will struggle, and that's that will be the case. But I think it's got a lot better than past seasons, definitely.
Let's talk about CFL players in particular. If there was 5 players that you could handpick and say, right, I want you to come to Inner City, which 5 players do you think that would be?
Jeffrey would be one of them.
I mean, who doesn't want Jeffrey, right? So, Jeffrey?
No.
Same question to you guys as well.
My man is standing
That's a good shout. Go on.
Quite a few actually. What is it? What guy? The one who plays for Elite. Is it the captain?
Billy.
Billy. Yeah, good player, very good player. Maybe one of the best midfielders in this league, I think, for sure.
I'll take Billy. Probably work around those players.
Them 3. Okay, Shaq, the same question. Let's open it up. Let's have a chat about CFL this season, and in terms of the kind of types of players that are playing in this league. And I guess it varies from team to team and from week to week, but who have been the standout players for Shaq? So bring you in, you do all the stats, you do all the social media stuff, so you know more than anyone else about what's going on across the league and the types of players we have. But who's really stood out in terms of positions?
Okay, so I've got to give a shout out first to Sam Platt. He plays for FC Brooklyn. He's probably been our best player this season. Amazing talent. At the moment, he's playing Cam, so he's just playing behind the striker. But his work rate is unbelievable. He can score from anywhere. He can head the ball. He can tackle. He's hungry. He never gives up. He's up for a fight anytime. Unfortunately, he was actually missing today. He picked up a fever last night, and he was heartbroken. He couldn't make it today. So we were missing our best player of the season today as well. Yeah. So, but he was amazing. Sam Platt, outstanding. He probably star man in CFL. Of course, FC Elite. I can probably name 11 players. 11 superstars. They've got amazing talent. Likes of Yasin. He was a top scorer last year as well. Jeffrey, within a few games, he was top scorer this year.
You've got to take 2 players from Elite. From Elite, yeah. Who would you take?
I mean, Jeffrey, he's originally one of ours, isn't he? I mean,
how does he end up at Elite?
I mean, look, offer comes in.
Somebody probably tucked him up.
I mean, look, Jeffrey, he's been around a bit now, and some.
But on a serious note, I'm asking that question. So you've got a player that you just said off air. He's been with you with Alpha from the age of 16, right? 17, yeah. So how do they then go to another club?
Well, I think I don't know. I suppose at one stage in their mind they thought they wanted to move on and play with more better players. Or as Shakil mentioned, an offer probably came in. Who knows? I have to say, Jeffrey was loyal to us or to me for many years, and he's a fantastic guy and a fantastic player, and he's got to a great level of football, in grassroots level football, and credit to him for that. This season he decided he wanted to play for FC Elite, as he felt they had a great squad of players, and he thought, I'll be there with a shout for winning the title.
And who stands out, or what stood out over the last season for you?
I mean, I think we mentioned him before, but Yusuf at FC Elite, like I said, he's been one of the outstanding players from where he was. Believe it or not, he started off as a striker, I believe, and now he's playing at centre back and he's getting goals for fun as well. I think Sam mentioned Sam already. I think still at this age, another player that is now probably not in the limelight because Mohamed did not exist anymore, but Sadiq,
100%.
He's still up there with any of the players. Another FC Elite player, I would say probably Yasin.
Yeah.
Yasin, I love watching him play. He's like silky on the ball, and off the pitch he's the nicest person as well. And the Aberfeldy lot. I mean, the twins.
Listen, let's talk about Aberfeldy. I think that although they're not been involved, they wanted a season out to take a break, and a lot of the lads focus on, we talked about sporting, but that was one of the main reasons as well. And the likes of Rakib and Kirtley have really stepped up. And I think having that break from winter and focusing on Sporting Bengal, I think now, obviously, we've seen Rakib, who's now the captain at Sporting Bengal, has really stepped up. Kurt Lee's our top scorer on 17 goals this season already. So that it just goes to show this is what Sporting Bengal and Sporting Foundation is all about. We take kids from our community clubs, and if they've got the right attitude and if they've got the right desire, they're going to have the opportunity, right, Shaq?
Yeah.
Why you seem to struggle with Stepney? Why is that?
They've got a lot of younger players. They deserve a mention, like Sadiq. He plays Cam. Mahinder striker, he's pacey striker. The guy in the middle, Cisco. He's playing DM at the moment.
What a player he is.
He's a great player. He's one to look out for.
Well, I've tried.
Yeah.
He manages the Saturday team.
That's
but
that's a nice
manages.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good to hear as well. I mean, Cisco, he's been amazing in DM. He's very physical and he can play as well.
Yeah.
And they got Rugby at the back.
Again, quality young player.
Quality. So the wingers as well. They've got Nello and they've got Hamza Shah, both amazing wingers as well. So I mean, with Stepney,
Don't forget the goalkeeper, please.
Goalkeeper is
because otherwise we'll be having them on the board again.
The goalkeeper.
To be fair, I think I called it that again. For me, I'm not just saying this, but for me, I think he's one of my favourite keepers in the CFL.
He's
The
there
saves
because
he
of
made.
Because of
with us,
yeah.
with Bernardo.
Hafiz, is it?
So it's
He's on there. But anyway,
it's on the
so
list,
I apologize for forgetting your name,
Yeah.
but for me personally, I did tell Rupert this, and I told the goalkeeper
Aziz,
the 2 times I've seen him play, he's just outstanding.
Yeah, amazing.
Some of the saves he makes, you think, how the heck has he
I
done
mean, the
that?
shootout, of course,
Yeah,
against Bernardo,
yeah.
he's pulled off a few saves.
Saying about keepers, I've got to give a big hand to my
Ronald.
keeper, Ronald.
Wow.
He's only 18 years old and he's playing men's league now, so he's done some brilliant saves, and I'll be honest with you, I think he's had a brilliant season.
There you go.
For being 18, 19,
For a goalkeeper, that's
for a
young.
goalkeeper,
For a
he's very
goalkeeper.
young, and
It's-
he's got a lot to learn, but he's learning every game, and he's, for
You
me,
should send him to
good.
training, Sporting.
Yeah, good fair. That's it. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Okay, Shaq, I'll bring you in here now. We've talked about these new teams, emerging teams, the likes of Stepney, the likes of PYO, but they've evolved. Like it's not the older Stepney, it's not the old PYO. It's a new PYO, it's a new Stepney. But they've also, whilst they're evolving in terms of players, they're also evolved in terms of communications. Their social media is probably second to none.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously deal with Sporting Foundation, social media, and whatnot. But how big a role does social media play now with football clubs?
Yeah, I mean, so we've last few years we've really stepped up our game on social media. I mean, in terms of the graphics and reaching out to other teams. And at one point there weren't many teams to be honest on social media. They might have created accounts but they've never been active. That was one of my goals, like especially in the summer league, to get every team active on social media. And I think Bernardo were the last team. They eventually they've got a lot of youngsters. I was surprised. Zaydan, it's young Zaydan. He's always on Twitter. We see his posts. So yeah, I thought it's going to start up. Start giving promo to your own players. Give them the recognition they deserve. At the end of the day. On social media, our aim is to promote our community, players in the area, in the local area. That's all it is. So I mean, for every goal that teams send in to us, we put it in a nice little graphic with their name on the top, so everyone knows that's their goal, what team they represent, who they scored against. A lot of people, they might not realize it now. But in 5, 10 years, 15 years when they retire, they'll look back and see, I scored that goal. Oh wow. Like a lot of these videos, they get lost in your phone and they're gone. So, but this is the aim on social media. We just want to promote everyone. We want to give everyone a chance, to be recognized for the good work they're doing. They might not everyone's gonna win everything, but you're out there giving your hard, your time on Sundays, you're grafting, and let's let people see what you're doing. And speaking of Stepney and PYO. They've really stepped up their social media game, and I think a lot of teams have picked up on that as well. And they're starting as well. I mean, even our Reclaim page is we're picking up it as well. Now you've been a bit quiet for a while, but even that.
Sure, it's gonna be busy.
It's going to be busy now. It's going to be busy now. Naturally, of course, we're going to enjoy it. Of course, you have to enjoy it. When you win, you have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it. Otherwise, this is football. But yeah, I mean, Stepney, PYO, Ellie as well, brilliant. Kayas, he works on their social media, brilliant. They're all on it, even in a city, East City as well, another team. They're all on it, Bernardo as well. Yeah, so it's good to see every team on there, and we do encourage everyone. you know, fans and players on the sidelines, you know, the bench players, the manager. Get your cameras out, film everything. Even it doesn't have to be a goal. Even if it's a little skill or a good save, give the keepers recognition. If your keeper's making great saves, send it to us. We'll put it up on social media and we'll highlight it. It's not a problem. We'll do that for them.
There you go. Good stuff. Right, in the interest of time, let's move on.
Yeah.
Shaqs, okay, in the interest of time, we're nearly done.
Yeah.
But how's the season been for you in terms of?
Alhamdulillah, look, we've done what we set out to do. Maybe going into season, every team, you know, their aspirations to win the league. Alhamdulillah, we've done it. It was a tough season. You know, from the 2 years ago when we did win it. The management has changed. You know, we had Mo in charge. Now we've got Malik Bhai in charge, and with Mashud Bhai as assistant. So the management has changed. The players have changed. Our, you know, core original bricklaying players, and probably just me and Mustaq left. Because a lot of players have moved on, and a lot of players are older and retired now. So a lot has changed.
Okay, guys, thank you for watching. You've been watching On the Ball. I've been Imran Qazi.